right. Hey everyone, welcome Tellor Dev Call, May 15th. Yeah, I just got back. I went to ETH Global Lisbon. Super fun. So I was there with yeah, Tellor and Gnosis Chain, gave a presentation on that. Lots of people came. It was really good. Then I was on a panel on account abstraction with the guys who made CryptoKitties. And there were some wild people. But it was fun. Yeah, no, like everyone there, like the big trends, got a lot of good ideas for potential new Teller. Really good stuff. So you guys can lots of fun stuff I want to build after the hackathon. But lots of people, there were like 5 or 6 projects that were building like zero knowledge proof stuff, which is, it used to be really hard to integrate zero knowledge proofs and stuff. And, it was like at a hackathon in a weekend, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna, you know, build a light client for zero knowledge proof thing, and like there were tools, and they knocked it out, and it was, don't know how secure it is, but it was super cool that people, the tooling is getting so much better there. And then lots of stuff on account abstraction. So like there were a lot of sort of bounties out for like, can you make, ERC 4337 wallet, that you can only buy these tokens, or you can send parental controls, or you can, there was one guy who was he was trying to do like physical, like the one-time scratch pads. They used to be like in old cryptography, you would just have like, you would put a secret on a pad and it would just be good for like one use, basically. But he was trying to do that for like, it would basically be like, how could you do like physical currency? So where like a wallet was owned by a QR code. And it was like super cool stuff that people were doing. So yeah, it definitely like jazzed me up. So excited to see a lot of people are still building, like there was, and it was good too, because like Lisbon has a pretty good blockchain developer scene. So like there were the sponsors there, but like most of the developers were people who came that like lived in Lisbon. So there were a lot of like people there who they worked in Web 2. They, it was still very new to them and very exciting. So it was good. So yeah, I'll tell you guys I'll have to tell you guys about the ideas some other time, and we can see what.
Most of the people you met familiar with Teller at this point?
Yeah, lots and lots of people were familiar with Teller. I had a lot of good talks. Most people had heard of Teller. I don't know if it was necessarily. Most of them don't know all that we can do. Most of them would just think like you're a Chainlink competitor, or you do price feeds. So like I think we still have more education to do in that sense. Like we can do everything, and how does that look? So yeah, like I definitely think there's some more work to do on that front for sure. And how do you just educate more people, getting them launched, and like I think talking to new chains, they seem really like, it seems like we're moving into this world where there are lots and lots more chains, and this is something that we're going to have to figure out with Teller. Even how do we make it easier to integrate Teller? Like we're already pretty easy, but how do we even make it easier to go to a new chain? Because like when these new chains are just popping up, because like the future is like, if you think that you're gonna have these like app chain roll-ups, where like each product or whatever will have its own roll-up and check back to Ethereum. Like how can you launch Teller on that in a decentralized way that actually works? Super hard. It's hard to do, but believe it or not, everyone talking with them, they're like, listen, like even if it takes us some time, like it's near impossible to get Chainlink to even respond to us, like unless you're really big and have a big name. So like it seems like Chainlink's dropping the ball on that one. So like we should have, it should be like a nice way to sneak in, which will be great. So, but yeah, it was good. Anyway, start talking to you guys. What's new? Owen, how's things going?
Going well. Working on the parachain demo testing, debugging, and kind of fixing the workflow that produces a binary for one of the demo submodules. And then I need to review a PR from a client. That's what I'm doing. And then I think we'll be hearing from Parity because they're going to be launching like a private test net.
Nice.
So
When's the Polkadot event? Do you know?
what Polkadot
The
event?
29th of June.
29th of June?
28th, 29th.
Are you sure? Somebody said it was this week. Is that anyway?
You're gonna ask.
Okay. So yeah, because somebody like it was like yeah yesterday they're like, oh well, I see you at the Polkadot event since you guys are there. I'm like, when's the Polkadot event? They're like, oh, it's this week. I'm like, oh, they didn't tell us, but okay, maybe they're wrong.
One this week. I don't know. Maybe they have others.
I know.
I'll ask.
Okay. Dan, anything?
Nothing new really. Just mainly focusing on the bridge right now. There's about 2 weeks left in the hackathon.
Nice. All right, Tim.
Yeah, let's see. Got an update to that tipper script up on I don't have the branch name off the top of my head, but there's a branch for tipping specifically for Liquidity. So people can use that right now. And then otherwise,
We want to,
yeah.
Spuddy, you want to try that out?
Yep.
Sweet.
I'll talk to you, Spuddy, about you can run it like the other one, like normally. But and then otherwise, yeah, I guess take on new things if anyone needs help with anything or a new project.
Well, I know we're working on the decentralizing the data specs too, which
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you push some stuff to IPFS. So
Okay, yeah, I can
start knocking that out. Yeah, for sure.
absolutely. It's a cool one.
And document it
okay.
for our users.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be a good one. All right, Ryan.
Yeah, troubleshooting with some of the graph guys about what was happening with the data feed, which has been a great experience because it's giving me some more insight on how these graphs have been set up. Very close to fixing that, and then gonna do some final practicing with Spuddy today and tomorrow for the graph interview on Wednesday.
Nice. Cool. All right, Akram.
I'm working on the DVM, on a DVM issue, as far as like not just spot prices, but feeds that bring in numbers, see if that could be checked for alerts or disputability.
Yeah, and let's get those EVM call ones working too, if you can.
Yeah, I think that's the PR that Owen is reviewing. So
Okay. Yeah, and then Spuddy, get those up and running on those networks. Ideally. Yeah, let me know. And Dan, how's the EVM call DVM stuff going with the defenders?
Not great, I guess.
All right, cool. Yeah, ping me, hit me up. Let me see or push the code you got, and let's see what's going on. So cool. And then Brenda, you're done with the CPI stuff.
Yes, it's done. It's in production.
Okay. Working on it.
Sweet.
Anything else, guys? Or any questions?
Before you get to questions, Tim, did you see Raft asking about someone to review their integration work so far on the Telegram chat?
I missed that, but I'll check that out.
And then Brenda, I don't know if you saw not EdCon. The boot camps.
Oh yeah, they changed the
Yeah.
dates. I haven't checked if they gave me more dates, but if not, maybe somebody else can cover me that day.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I did ask for more dates. Also, Nick, going back to your comment about like the different chains that you see popping up, Did you notice anybody moving away from EVM? Or is that like the majority of what is being done?
Yeah, I mean, most of them are still EVMs for sure. You had, I mean, so like, you know, this was actually a big debate on some of the 4337 panels. So like ZK Sync and some of the people are natively making their wallets 4337 compliant,
Mhm.
but like other people are not, because if it's not, then it's EVM compatible, you know, there it's standard with EVM. So like how does it break, or how does it go? So I see there.
But shouldn't there be a choice? Like, I feel like isn't that the whole point of 4337? Like you implement it if you want it, or you get a smart account or whatever abstract.
Well, the problem is, so like this is
Like they're
it's
based
whether it's done in the base layer or the app layer. So like right now Ethereum's is built into the app layer,
right. So it's an
and
option.
so it's an option, but like the other people are building it directly into the base layer. This is like, you know, in the same way some people have taken the base layer ETH and made it like ERC20 compliant, for instance, to where it'll transfer like a token. And people are like, well, is that a good thing, a bad thing? And most
It's a
chains
choice.
now, what? Yeah, it breaks it. So it's super tough. I see most people probably sitting with the Ethereum one, but
Mhm.
you know, over time, you know, like I know we had thrown around the idea of like if we would ever do like a Tellor chain, what would it look like? Would it be EVM compliant or something like that? And yeah, like maybe not. I don't know. Like right now, I think like I don't think EVM makes a lot of sense for a lot of these very specific app chains, but at the same time, like rolling your own chain is crazy hard and difficult. So it's like, fuck it, we'll do an EVM chain and launch a smart contract. And that seems to be the go-to of what people are doing.
Right. That's interesting. It's like launching new software that is not compatible with the previous version, but I get it. There's a lot of really good things and new things that are probably better and more efficient. But we'll have to think about it. Anyway, if you know about any of them that you really liked, we should start also putting together a list of those and try and reach out and figure out whether or not we want to go there.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Any questions, Ryan? Or
We can't hear you.
Got it right in time. Yeah, we got a few here. I have some questions regarding the dispute mechanism, which doesn't seem to be detailed in the white paper or the docs. In the event of a new dispute round being started at the end of a voting period, do the people who have already cast their votes need to vote again, or are the votes carried over?
They need to vote again.
Okay. And then in the event of a reporter being found innocent, do they receive the fee paid only for the last dispute round or from all of them?
From all of them.
yeah.
And then in the event of a reporter being found guilty and there has been multiple dispute rounds, do all disputers share the reporter's bond or only the person starting the final round of dispute?
Only the person starting the first one.
One.
You want to be the first guy. The people initiating the second round, you just assume that that's more. You get your money back.
Cool. And then we have just read the Eigenlayer white paper with the ability of restaking ETH to secure other services like oracles. What are your thoughts on Eigenlayer? And could it make sense for oracles to use restaked ETH instead of using their own token for security? What could be the advantages for oracles to use Eigenlayer?
I'm working on an Eigenlayer paper on why I hate Eigenlayer. Yeah, no. It's like Eigenlayer. The idea is basically like, don't, like you stake TRB, like instead of using stake TRB, let's just use like staked ETH, and you'll move it over, because like everyone already trusts those validators. So like if those are the validators, you know, like rather than having to trust new people, let's just trust those validators because you already have this set of people that you trust. And so you'll just like double down, and it's the same people, and since they're already validating that, then they might as well also be your validators on your Oracle. And that's great. If you got like every single, like, because this would be like the argument, like the ultimate argument is like, should ETH validators also be Oracle validators? You could make that argument, and some people in the past have, but an eigenlayer is saying like that's what it should be, but that's not what they're building. Like what they're building is this, where you now, instead of like, if you have an Oracle and you want to be a staker and a reporter for this Oracle, more likely what's going to happen, rather than any of like, because who validates on Ethereum? It's like, what is it? There's like 5 pools that dominate. And it's like Coinbase and Lido and Rocket Pool. They're not going to pay attention to your little Oracle. You're just making a giant cost for any other validator that they have to go stake ETH first and then go over and stake in your Oracle, which is like not good. And then if you do get the big guys over there, it's just a subset of them, you know, so like you probably won't get all of them. So if you just get one, now your entire Oracle is run by one party again. So it's like, you know, like it's not the same trust people. It's a subset of the trusted people, which you also then have to focus on being decentralized. And then it's also, and then you have to focus on that being decentralized. Then you have just the big problem of the additional risk of, you know, like, let's say all the TRB stakers were using staked ETH, and then they all go get slashed at the ETH, the base layer, because they were being malicious. Now no one is staked in your Oracle, or, you know, or like if they get, so it's like, you can't be staked for 2 things. Like it's like, you know, if you put a security deposit down on an apartment for $1,000, and then you go and try and get another apartment, and you say, I already have a security deposit down at that apartment, that should work for this one. And they would laugh at you, and they would say, no, it doesn't work that way. I need an additional $1,000. That's, yeah. Anyway, I'll write a paper on it. But
Cool. And then finally, total inflation is CA 0.7% PA. Not sure what those stand for.
per annum, probably.
What does it stand for?
Per annum, I'm guessing.
Gotcha. TRB are minted as rewards for reporters, 144 TRB per day, and funding for development, 4,000 TRB per month. Based on the security article, Tellor disputes are voted on by token holders on that chain, plus reporter shares, plus user shares, plus the Tellor core team shares. Each voting group has 25% voting power. So to win a dispute, I would need to own at least 2 of those voting groups, or more than 50% of all the voting group shares.
Yes.
It's easier and cheaper to halt the L1s instead of trying to win disputes. So the main Tellor attack vector on halting L1s would be cool to see an infograph on main page explaining that so users understand quickly. Sorry, I thought there was a question in there. Not a bad suggestion at all.
Yeah, I mean, we it's really hard to calculate how much it costs to break the dispute mechanism, because like it's not a static game. So like even if you bought up a whole bunch of the voting shares of tokens, there's multiple rounds, so then other people could go buy up tokens in the next round and compete. Or if you like start tipping to take over the user share, in the next round other people could compete with you and tip themselves. So it just ends up being like this race of who has more money or more ability to get tokens. And then the teams is like, or, you know, the reporter one obviously is on a really big lag, same with the tips. So it's not like a straightforward calculation. Usually the easy way to break Tellor for people, it's really hard to break in the voting and the dispute mechanism, but it's relatively cheaper to censor. So if you just wanted to like you're not getting bad data on chain. You're just stopping all data and just disputing every round, and that's much easier or cheaper. But it's a different, like as long as your app is okay with that and like waiting, then there's not really any risk. Like you're just causing kind of a UX problem for your people. So anyway, and shout out Spuddy probably remembers. Do you remember Lameme in our Discord? Anyway, he was an early reporter, and he met me out in Lisbon. Shout out to him for still being around, and he recognized me, so it was cool.
Was he a miner?
Yeah, he was an old proof of work miner back in the day. So
Did he transition into becoming a reporter, or is he?
He was asking about it now, but no, I think he was. Yeah, that's good. So that's it. All right, later, guys.